Hey, real quick before we dive in, if you're a woman in midlife who's tired of the cliches and ready to live out loud, we're glad you're here.
Because you are definitely in the right place. We're not here to age gracefully, we're here to age boldly. So if you love real talk, big laughs, and the occasional spicy truth bomb, make sure to follow us on TikTok at Spicy Midlife Women for even more unfiltered midlife magic.
Because let's be honest, midlife isn't a crisis, it's an awakening. Hey, all you spicy ladies out there, Jules and Michelle here. We are two spicy midlife women sharing our real life stories and having no BS conversations. Ain't that right, Jules?
That is so right, Miss Shelly Belly. That's right. We're here to help all of you midlife women redefine your relationships, ditch toxic cycles, and reclaim your power one episode at a time. So let's get into it.
Let's dive in.
This is a little juicy one today, huh?
It is.
I don't know, juicy maybe isn't the right word, but when you talk about how to be selfish after 40 and why it's necessary, it could be juicy to some people, I suppose.
I think the thought of that could be intimidating for some because women tend to get, I want to say, a little bit of a bad rap when it comes to taking the time to do things that from the outside might seem selfish to people. But really, so we're going to be talking today about how to be a little selfish after 40, because that's what it seems like. Just what I was saying, it seems like that to people on the outside at times, but really, I think it's just taking care of yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's like we are kind of in a place, and all of you women out there who are in the midst of raising children and everything, right now, you're probably going, oh my gosh, I would just kill for a 30-minute nap.
That's the generational messaging though, right?
Right.
Being caretakers, pleasers, nurturers, all of those things to the children and the community, the congregation, the partners, all of those things.
Yep.
So, and that's not a bad thing, knocking that at all, but it's important to take time for yourself. And we're going to talk about some of the ways to do that.
Right. Just a little note. I had coffee with a client today. She's probably, I don't know, she's very young looking, but she's probably close to 30, maybe 36. Anyway, she has a 2-year-old and she has a girl that's going into 6th grade. And we were talking about her schedule today. And I'm looking at her going, oh my God, how did I do all that? And the 2-year-old's not sleeping. 2-year-old's not eating very well. She's up in the middle of the night. It's just, I was looking at her. I just had to give her like a big hug going, It's going to get better. You're not going to be tired forever and ever. I swear.
Right, but we're built differently in our 20s and 30s because we're doing things like that. And even if there's no kids involved, the time and the energy that we're putting into the career at that point is insane. And then all of a sudden when you're 40, it hits kind of different. There's different energy. There's different needs. And so you got to kind of start prioritizing things a little bit and being self-aware, maybe setting some boundaries. And that's looked at sometimes as being selfish.
Yeah.
So be it.
A lot of that has to do with your upbringing too.
Yeah.
It's like, we give and give to our families. And the moment you take time away, it's an event. You go out to dinner with your girlfriends, you get to do that once every few months kind of a thing. So anyway, we're going to go through 4 different ways that you can be a little bit more quote unquote selfish, at this day and age that you're in, and why it's so necessary to do that. And some of these things we're preaching to the choir, right? You already know. It's just you don't take the time to do it.
Yeah.
And that's in a lot of different ways. Your needs, not only your physical needs, but also your emotional needs and things of that nature, sometimes go by the wayside because you're dealing with everybody else's. So number 1, protect your time like a boss. I love that one.
Like a boss.
Like a boss. So that's about looking at your calendar and not having everybody necessarily determining what your day is going to look like.
Yeah.
Because it works around their day, for example. What's one thing that you have had the worst time or the hardest time learning to do when you were, say, younger, raising kids, trying to do all of this stuff? What was the one thing that you had the most difficulty with, Michelle?
Saying no.
Yeah.
Saying no.
Do you feel like you're kind of a pleaser?
I am a people pleaser.
You're a people pleaser.
I'm a Taurus. We tend to be very loyal and, do things like that. But also, the family culture that I grew up in was very much like that too. So, and it's, again, I feel like I'm saying this again, it's not a bad thing.
No.
It's not like we're like, fuck you, everybody, and I'm just going to do whatever the F I want.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
I'm going to be selfish.
But saying no is hard because we want to serve and care for and do those things. But ultimately, I mean, no is a full-on sentence.
Yeah.
And no is no. And I honestly can remember when I started to say no, it felt really good.
Put your boundaries
It
up.
was hard at first, but then when I did it, it was like, okay.
Did you feel like you had to explain yourself?
The walls didn't come falling down.
Right.
And it was okay. And somebody else did what I said no to. And everybody moved on.
So you didn't feel like you had to explain yourself at all at first?
Probably in certain situations, depending on what it was. But I don't do that anymore.
No.
I don't do that anymore. I'm sure I do occasionally. But if I feel like I just need to say, you know what, that's not going to work for me, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say no.
Mm-hmm.
And I leave it at that.
I know.
I don't need to give an explanation.
Yeah, you've gotten actually much better, I would say, about that. Because, so in this regard, now some of our listeners may completely get this and it will resonate with them.
Mm-hmm.
We would say yes, but you really mean no.
Yeah.
And then you feel resentful.
Yes.
Or you feel like,
that's worse.
It's worse. I know.
It's way worse.
I mean, I think I would do that more than anything else. Is like I would try to fit stuff in, or I'd slam my calendar as full as I could possibly make it. And then I'm not in the moment. So saying no is not a bad thing when it comes to protecting your boundaries, if you will, or your health, your decision making, whatever you want to call it. But it's also something to where if you feel like you can't say no, then you ask yourself, why? Is it because you're getting that pressure from somebody that's maybe not very nice of them to give you? Or is it because you feel like you've been shirking your responsibilities to your family lately, and so you don't want to let them down? I mean, you have to kind of ask yourself why you're having difficulty, I guess, saying no.
Yeah.
Or is it just because you don't like to say no and you want to try to make everybody happy?
Mm-hmm.
I find that I would do that a little bit here and there. Not, I mean, once I start saying no, people would look at me like, what's wrong with her?
Well, because they're used to the yes answer.
Right. Yeah. It's like, what's going on with her? She must be having a bad day.
She, and that's why you get asked to do things. And I'm just thinking of, like school things and sports things and church things. And what about the me things, right? You got to prioritize your peace, ladies. And it's okay to say no and not feel guilty about it.
Yep.
What it kind of does, Julie was just, I think, describing what can sometimes seem chaotic when we tend to say yes, but we didn't want to, but we do. And then everything is just crazy because you're, trying to figure out how you're going to do it. You got, it's
well, and
just a lot.
It leads to other things like resentment.
Yeah.
Or you kind of can be bitchy. I mean, I'd say yes, and it's like it's nobody else's fault. I'm saying yes, even though I wanted to say no because I want to be a good person, but then I end up being a bitch. So what's the difference? I mean, it's taken me a long time to figure that out. So hopefully people can kind of learn from that in advance,
And it, like I mentioned, prioritizing your peace. As far as that goes, I'm thinking about things like family and friends. You know how sometimes there's really chaotic, dramatic situations in both of those categories, friends and family, right?
When you say chaotic, do you mean drama or do you just mean craziness?
I think both.
Okay.
I think both. And because I know I had plenty of chaotic situations that I was living through. And then when I was married, okay, not in a bad way, it's just what it was with the kids and the job and the things going on in our marriage and all the stuff. It would seem a little chaotic. I was living through it.
Yeah.
Right. And then fast forward, now I'm solo and trying to figure all that out. Then there was dramatic things that were surrounding that, right? Because the situation had then changed. And I think everybody has a level of drama and chaos within family and friends
circles. Things are kind of boring if you don't have any.
Right. But I remember going through something probably 5 years after I was divorced, and I had to deal with this situation, and it brought up drama again to the surface in my life. Though brief, it brought it there. And I can remember saying out loud, do you know how hard I have worked to live drama free? And it kind of struck me and it made me realize and kind of reflect on that process, right? Because that did bring back peace working through. And I'm talking, to live drama free, like blocking phone numbers and things like that, not showing up for certain things, saying no to certain things. And it's super important to be able to do that to protect your peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. And not feeling bad about it.
Right.
I think that's the
it's
other
good for your mental
key.
health too, being able to do those things.
Well, when you're talking about how you were in a moment where you had some chaos after you'd worked so hard to protect your peace, you know the difference.
Yeah.
I mean, consciously know the
100%.
difference because you're like, I have made a conscious effort to do this. And then you see where it's slipping away and you're like, oh, hell no, I like it better the other way.
Yes.
So it gives you a little bit more staying power on what your original plan was and what is important to you.
Yeah.
So another way to put yourself first is about how you take care of your body. So I almost said that like you're in second grade. I mean, basically exercise, rest, pleasure on your terms, but, kind of stopping the performance wellness for others. Do what makes you feel good, And so some of those things might be kind of not sexy at all, but necessary, like getting your regular checkups, for example, going for your mammograms. Those are taking care of yourself moments that I know plenty of women that they just kind of don't do it. They just don't want to see. They don't want to know. They are busy that day.
And I'm kind of one of those people that I don't do that stuff very often.
Yeah.
Regular checkups. It was like when I was having kids, it was like, oh, I'm pregnant again. I guess I'll go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Nothing really in between. I have, however, in the last couple of years, gotten my regular checkups and things like that. But for me, what has been super important is just every day doing things and putting things in my body that make me feel good. I know the things that don't. I had to.
You mean like that vodka soda right in front of you?
That makes me feel good. What are you talking about?
Sans the lime because we didn't have any.
Yeah. And that's something too that I had to figure out for myself.
Yeah.
I knew there was a time where I was not well. And it wasn't a thing to where like, oh, I am not well and I'm super sick and I need to go to the doctor. It wasn't like that. But my knees hurt, my
neck, my back.
I was getting to up an age where things like that started to become, and
you weren't able to exercise because your knees hurt. And so then you're gaining weight. It's this whole cycle. Thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and I'm a thick woman. It's not like I am
curves. There's nothing wrong with those curves.
I'm a curvy, thick woman. But I started trying things and, what my intake was, not dieting or anything else, but things that definitely made my body feel better. And you know what else? One of those things is super important. Sleep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Sleep.
That's the one thing that I think as you're in your, early midlife that you kind of neglect the hell out of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
You'd run on 5 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep. Broken sleep if you have children, really erratic sleep if you're traveling with your job. It's just, and your body just tolerates it.
I did that all the time till like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just been in the last 5.
Now I'm kind of like, oh yeah, it's time. It's time. I'm so different about how I look at it now.
Julie and I message each other. Like we live in the same house, but we use Marco Polo. I hear that's an old person's app. Whatever.
We don't care. We like it.
Great. So I'm downstairs and I'm like, okay, what are we doing tonight? Because I need to be in bed by 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, but you do get up at the crack of dawn.
Yeah, I know.
But then I'm waking up all night. Anyway, it's a side note, but
it's definitely noticeable though.
But it's huge, huge, huge.
Yes.
And if you guys are not aware of how you're sleeping, it would be, some of you guys have those Apple Watches that'll give you kind of an overview of your sleep habits at night. I actually downloaded this app and I can pin it, I think, on the episode, but it is pretty mindful. I don't have one of those watches, and you just put your basic information in and you set your phone next to you on the bed when you're sleeping. And when you wake up, you turn off the app or whatever, and it has recorded. I was like, yeah, I might have a little sleep apnea.
Oh, wow.
You have a sleep score that's 0 to 100.
Oh, I need to do that.
I had a sleep score consistently between 43 and 48.
I need to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like that.
Yeah. Well, and it was recording you. So I could hit the record button and I'm snoring. Or there's a couple times I'm talking in my sleep, you know.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I know. So I was like, okay, clearly, I mean, it really was very kind of made me aware of how bad my sleep was. Maybe it was psychological too, because then I'm tired all day. I don't know.
Well, you know, throw menopause on top of all this.
Yeah.
Right? So, ladies, super important to prioritize your body. Keeping things healthy doesn't mean you can't drink vodka like I am right now, but, you know, sleep, taking walks,
Going to the gym,
what we're putting in.
Yeah.
And yeah, it definitely does make a difference.
So my little wellness thing that you guys actually got me, you and Eileen got me kind of started on this, is like my little face masks. Or what's that thing called, that metal thing that you use for the...
I don't know what it's called.
Wabi or...
No, I don't know what it's called.
It's a metal piece that you use for like, to get like fluid out of your...
Lymphatic drainage.
Lymphatic drainage, yeah. So I'd have that, and I do my little face, or I do my whole little routine, you know, and it's my little take care of thing that I do. And
it's all healthy.
It's all healthy and it's all good. Yeah. Okay. So note to self and note to everyone else, take care of yourself in whatever way you...
Capital T.
Yeah. Whatever way you feel, you know, is working for you, I guess.
Yep.
And that may be that you just leave,
do it with
you
intention.
just leave your house and go drive in a car somewhere because everybody's making you crazy.
Listening. Yeah. Definitely good for the mental health there.
You could just go get a chocolate ice cream cone, just FYI.
Or a vodka tonic.
Or a vodka tonic. Just somewhere else with nobody else around you.
Just saying.
One other way to be a little mindful of putting yourself as a priority, you know, at our midlife time frame is taking up space, starting to really give yourself...
What does that mean? What does it mean to take up space?
Think about people that you have run across in the past that they're just kind of observing, which is fine. I mean, observing is okay, but they minimize themselves. They minimize their experience, their age, to have other people feel better.
I used to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as minimizing things, right? I totally used to do that probably 9 years ago. And I only say that because Rick, my guy, he's kind of the first one that would start asking me questions about myself, and that I really had a hard time answering. You know,
like philosophical kind of questions?
Just things like, you know, what do you like to do for yourself? And I wasn't used to talking about myself and really thinking about the things that I enjoyed or that I like to do. And I remember, I mean, it was simple, super simple, but I loved laying in bed with the window cracked. I could smell the rain. I could feel the cool air. And I really, really enjoyed doing that.
Yeah.
Like drinking coffee in bed on Saturday morning. So, but little things like that. But to me, I felt like it was only important to me, right? And so I really wouldn't share things like that with other people. But
well, people, so what do you like to do? I mean, when people ask you that question, you know, I think about hobbies, you know, I think about things like that. I don't think about, I love to sit in bed and listen to the rain. Although I love doing that too on a Saturday morning. Yeah. We're Marco Poloing, by the way, when that happens sometimes too. That's a little creepy. But anyway, so the other thing I was mentioning before is like speaking up in rooms that you basically have been shrinking in. So you have an opinion. In a conversation.
Absolutely.
You know, you're not going to always have the same opinion as everybody else, which is great. It doesn't mean you have to get in an argument. It just means that everybody has their own opinion. You're entitled to yours as well. And there are people perhaps in your life that speak louder when they don't agree with you. They start talking louder and louder. I'm talking from experience, actually. And so that tendency is to shuts people down. You know, because it's kind of like, why fight it? So really kind of picking your battles, but having your voice, you know?
Yeah. And I guess when I think about it, I have really grown to tap into my expertise. I never really felt like I had an expertise. There's these things that you minimize.
Right.
And it's so true, that word minimize.
Not even just about your bra.
Top of mind right now. Yeah, because I didn't go to college, right? I was a stay-at-home mom. I didn't go to college. So then when I was on my own and working and doing all these things, I don't know, I really started tapping into my own presence, my intuition, and truly the expertise that I had gained over the years from doing so many really important things.
Right.
And I have a lot that I can offer and put on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And that should not be minimized.
So you think just because, and I get what you're saying, it's like because you didn't have your degree, you didn't feel like you could have an opinion?
Exactly.
Oh, that's bullshit too. I totally understand what you mean.
I know, but I truly not that I was uneducated, but I just kind of felt like I was just doing my deal and doing what I had to and getting along scrappily. That's a word in my life. And this is kind of what I always did. But oh yeah, that is not the case, ladies. If any of you are doubting whether there's value or not having value because you did not go to college and get that degree or get that MBA, whatever it might be, that is not the case.
Not at all.
You really got to tap into what you have to offer, what you have brought into this world, what you have shared and gained along the way that you can now share with others. It's a lot.
A lot of it, kind of getting back to that point, you're learning certain things, not just getting a degree in a specific area in college. You're learning all kinds of different things about social aspects of life and all that. But there are plenty of other ways that people can gain that experience, like you said. And so, the 4-year college trajectory and now master's degree on top of that is definitely something that you see. Obviously, I've pushed that with my kids.
Too.
But you know what? They're not all set up that way.
Yeah.
And I was not set up that way either. I did okay in school, but I would procrastinate. I hated it. I mean, I wanted to get out and just be, So anyway, the world that we all live in doesn't necessarily require that. And I think as you're getting into midlife and older, some of that stuff doesn't even matter. I mean, I have a really, really close friend that has a very strong opinion about a lot of things, and she didn't finish her degree. You'd never in a million years know it.
Yeah.
And who cares whether she did or didn't? She's got lots of life experience. She's the same age as we are, and completely different take on life and the world based on where she lived and who raised her and then who she raised, all these kinds of things. So every one of us brings a different story.
Absolutely.
Is what I'm saying.
Take up space unapologetically.
Yeah.
Take up that space.
I love seeing that with women.
Yes.
And I'm not saying you got to get out there and be a know-it-all. That's not what I'm saying at all. But having, walking into a room and having a presence by the way you stand and 100%. The way you carry yourself and being able to integrate into a conversation about whatever. Doesn't mean you have to have this big, strong opinion, but you can ask questions about things if you're interested. So there's a lot of intimidation, I think, that, like you said, goes along with that. And if people are not in the corporate world or they're not in that boardroom type of setting, they don't really have the opportunities as much either. So you've got to find ways to have that opportunity, to have that voice, because it becomes even more important as you get older to convey, your being, your presence when you're in a place.
Yeah.
That's just my thought. My 2 cents. Yeah.
It feels good too.
Yeah.
When you do that.
I know. And it's nice to, be able to impart stuff, whatever it is, to other people that they genuinely find interesting. Not to say that we have all of the answers for things, but it's fun to talk to people about them when they're interested in what you're saying, or vice versa, when you have interest in what they're saying.
Yeah.
And, I had learned something, total side note, but it was this podcast I was listening to just about, communication and all this kind of stuff. And it was talking about in social settings, which is kind of what we're talking about here a little bit, is going into the conversations, asking questions, like 3 questions, instead of giving your experience on something. Like if someone says, oh yeah, I'm going to be starting a new job, instead of saying, oh, I started a new job last week. It's not about you.
Right.
Going just like, tell me about your job. And it's like, how long have you, da 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 da. And then you can get into what's about you. but it starts this conversation and the other person is actually seeing that you're interested in what they have to say, and it can kind of go from there.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that.
Yeah. So anyway, what about investing in yourself? You know, I like to do that.
Oh, yeah. Julie loves to do that.
I love to do that. Time, money. I was on my way home tonight. Here's a great example. This is a really good example.
Okay.
I was on my way from my office and I had about an hour and a half until I had to be home because Michelle and I were going to be meeting. And I swung into this place that I really like that's in Mill Creek for a massage.
Oh, geez.
And I didn't even know if they have available. My neck has been bothering me. So I go in, I'm just like, I'm so doing it. And it's like, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. It's like, that was the biggest treat.
Spontaneous.
Very, very spontaneous, big treat. My neck feels amazing now. And I just took care of myself.
And why not?
Yeah.
And that is investing in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
It is not time or money that's wasted.
Yeah.
Never when you're investing in yourself.
Right.
Never wasted. Yeah. And I mean, back to the school, like that's not to say, we were talking about not having college degrees and I didn't go to college and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't mean that you can't now.
Right.
Absolutely. Right. So that would be investing in yourself, right? Classes, what you just did, doing a massage, going to therapy.
Yeah. Therapy's huge.
Right. Therapy.
And look, they've got all these online channels now. I mean, a lot of the therapy is not where you have to go into an office and sit on a couch anymore.
Yeah.
And for all of you people out there who think that therapy is not worthwhile, it's like maybe you haven't gone before or you had the wrong therapist.
I mean, that's, typically the case until somebody tries it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been in a while, but I find when I'm kind of struggling with something and Michelle's tired of hearing me, that's a good time, to get out there and ask questions because we don't always know the answers to some of those things.
Yeah.
So
travel, that would be an investment, I think, also in yourself if there's somewhere that you want to go. Or even like the dance classes that you're doing. Yeah. That's an investment in yourself.
I was just thinking about that because like the one thing that I think people feel, I've heard people say this, I'm too old to start that. I'm too old to be thinking about that. I'm too old, blah, blah, blah. That makes me crazy when I hear that kind of stuff. But yeah, these dance classes, it's like, it's a great example because it's not taking a ton of my time. It's fun. It's something different. And it's kind of expanding I wouldn't say expanding my social circle because I wouldn't say that the people that I'm meeting there are people I probably would hang out with. They're super nice. Just, we're in different worlds, but it's expanding my experience in lots of different things and really helps me go, do I love it or do I not love it? If I don't love it, I'll move on to something else. But I wouldn't know unless I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that you pointed out that it's too late to start or to try something new. Yeah, never. It's never too late.
Never. Ever.
Never.
Too late.
I mean, I just did a garden for the first time this year.
I know. You just brought in your tomatoes.
Never too late. Yeah.
Her little tomatoes, her little dwarfy little tomato. I don't know what the heck. She's going to make something out of it. I don't know what.
I will.
So anyway, kind of in closing, just really wanted to recap being selfish after 40 isn't really the big S word. It is really more about being intentional and honoring yourself and giving yourself permission to do that.
Yeah.
And now you're kind of at a place where you can live for yourself as opposed to living for everybody else around you.
Well, and regardless of your circumstances, you have to take the time to live for yourself. Even when you are surrounded, maybe you're living in a household with a lot of people and you're in the mix and there's a lot of things that you're doing, but taking that time, protecting your peace, prioritizing your health, all of those things are going to help with the mental and physical aspect of how to be selfish.
Yeah.
And really, it is really just how to
take care of yourself.
Dive into self-care.
Yeah.
And it's not a selfish thing.
No, I think we struggle with the fact that we have expectations placed upon us by the people that are in our lives. And when we do things that are different than what they expect, we get pushback.
Yeah.
And when you get pushback, then you kind of question yourself as to whether, well, maybe it's not that important. Maybe it's more important that I do blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And only you can make that decision, But anyway, what's something that you can do this week, Michelle, that would be, I don't know, a little selfish, a little self-care-ish?
A little self-care-ish would be sleeping in.
Okay.
But I'm actually I'm intentionally trying to take more time. I have a sweat tent, right? It's
We're
like
going there tonight.
It's like a sauna thing. It's got a wood stove and you go in there and it's in nature and I love it. So trying to spend more alone time and just doing that and sleeping in on Saturday and drinking coffee in bed. It's taking the time to do those little things before you dive into other life things.
Right.
Because life gets lifey real quick. And being able to pause.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do.
Good.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, I just did it today. I went and had my massage.
Oh, yeah. You went and had your massage.
Yeah.
So I guess that's our ask for all you spicy midlife women out there is to do something this week that might seem a little crazy and selfish.
Yeah. And then what we would love for you to do is share your selfish win on our socials. So go to Instagram, Facebook, tag at Spicy Midlife Women and let us know what you did.
Yeah.
And it better be good.
Yeah. We want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Because we want to check it out.
Keep it rated PG-13 just in case. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you pull that toy out. It has been a while.
Has it, Michelle?
Well, I'm just saying that could be something selfish that they're doing for themselves.
That's very selfless.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Until next week.
Stay spicy.
Have a good one, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.